As you look in the mirror, you notice something that makes your heart a little sadder each day. Lately, there are more hairs in your brush than yesterday. Your part line seems wider than last month. That fullness you once had is slowly fading away, and everyone keeps telling you it's just a part of aging, that you should just accept it. But here's what I want you to understand. What's happening to your hair right now has almost nothing to do with your age and everything to do with 5 specific mistakes you're making every single day without even realizing it. I'm going to show you exactly how to fix every single one of them starting today. But first, do me a favor, hit that like button and drop a comment below with your age and where you're watching from. I want to build a community of women who refuse to just accept what everyone says is inevitable. Now, let's talk about what's really happening to your hair. I've talked to women who spent decades believing their thinning hair was just bad genetics or bad luck or just being over 60. They tried everything they could find at the drugstore, spent hundreds of dollars, and nothing seemed to work. And you know what finally changed everything for them? They stopped focusing on the hair itself and started addressing what was happening underneath, at the scalp level, at the cellular level, in their bloodstream, and in their daily habits. Because here's what medical research has shown us. The hair follicles on your head right now, even if they seem dormant or damaged, they're still alive in most cases. They're just sleeping. They're starving. They're suffocating. But they can wake up. They can be fed. They can breathe again. And when they do, growth happens. Not overnight. And I'm not going to lie to you and say you'll have the hair you had at 20. But visible, meaningful improvement. Absolutely possible. Now stay with me, because what's coming next is the countdown of the 5 biggest mistakes keeping your hair thin and weak, and we're going to fix every single one. Coming in at number 5, and this one surprises most women, you're washing your hair way too often and using the wrong products when you do. I know what you're thinking. Keeping your hair clean is good, right? But here's what this really means for your scalp. After 60, your scalp produces less natural oil. Think of these oils as your hair's built in protection system, like a shield that keeps each strand moisturized and protected from damage. When you wash your hair every single day, especially with harsh shampoos that promise volume or clarifying power, you're stripping away this protective shield faster than your scalp can replace it. What happens next? Your hair becomes dry, brittle, breaks easier, and your scalp actually panics and either produces too much oil to compensate, making your hair look greasy faster, or it becomes so dry that inflammation sets in. And inflammation at the scalp level is one of the biggest hidden killers of hair growth. I've talked to women who noticed that after they cut back from washing daily to just twice a week, within about 3 weeks their hair felt thicker, the ends looked healthier, and they had noticeably less hair coming out in the shower. So here's the fix. Wash your hair only 2 to 3 times per week maximum. On the days between, if your scalp feels oily, use a dry shampoo at the roots or just rinse with water. When you do wash, choose a sulfate-free shampoo, which means it doesn't have those harsh detergents that strip everything away. Look for ingredients like biotin, keratin, or natural oils. Massage your scalp gently for about 2 minutes while shampooing because that massage increases blood circulation to the follicles. And we're going to talk more about why that matters in just a minute. After washing, always use a lightweight conditioner, but only on the lengths and ends of your hair, not on your scalp. Your scalp doesn't need conditioner. It needs to breathe. And here's something many American women don't realize. The quality of your water matters too. If you have hard water with lots of minerals, it's leaving buildup on your hair that makes it look dull and thin. You can install an inexpensive shower filter that removes those minerals, and many women report their hair feels completely different within weeks. But as helpful as this is, number 4 does something even more powerful for your hair at the deepest level. You're not feeding your hair the building blocks it desperately needs to grow strong. Your hair is made almost entirely of protein. Think of protein as the actual bricks that build your hair strand. Without enough protein in your diet, your body literally cannot manufacture strong, healthy hair, no matter what products you put on the outside. And here's where things get serious for women over 60. As we age, many of us naturally eat less protein than we used to. Maybe meat is harder to chew. Maybe we're eating lighter meals. Maybe we're trying to watch our weight. But what happens when your body doesn't get enough protein? It has to make choices about where to send the limited protein it does have. Your body always prioritizes vital organs, your heart, your kidneys, your liver. Hair is not a priority for survival, so your hair gets whatever protein is left over, which often isn't much. The hair follicle switches into survival mode, produces thinner, weaker strands, and eventually many follicles just stop producing new hair entirely and go dormant. Medical research has found that women experiencing hair thinning often show deficiencies not just in protein, but in specific vitamins and minerals that work together with protein to build hair. Iron is critical because it carries oxygen to your hair follicles. Without enough oxygen, follicles can't function. Biotin, which is a B vitamin, helps your body actually use the protein you eat to build keratin, the main structural protein in hair. One study found that 38% of women complaining of hair loss had biotin deficiency, and they didn't even know it. Vitamin D acts like a signal that tells dormant follicles to wake up and start producing again. Zinc supports the oil glands around each follicle, and omega-3 fatty acids reduce inflammation throughout your scalp. I've talked to women who changed nothing else about their routine except adding more protein and taking a daily supplement with these specific nutrients. And after about 4 to 5 months, they noticed baby hairs growing along their hairline and their part looking less wide. Here's what you need to do right now. Make sure you're eating protein at every single meal. For women over 60, doctors often recommend about 70 to 80 grams of protein per day, which is more than most of us are getting. Good sources include eggs, which are easy to eat and packed with biotin, naturally Greek yogurt, salmon, which also has omega-3s, chicken, lean beef if you eat it, beans and nuts. If eating enough protein feels hard, consider adding a protein shake once a day. As for supplements, look for a hair-specific supplement or a comprehensive multivitamin that includes biotin around 5,000 to 10,000 micrograms, vitamin D3 around 2,000 IU, iron if your doctor says you need it, zinc and omega-3 fish oil. You're not going to see results in 2 weeks. Your hair grows about ½ an inch per month, so the improvements you make today are growing out slowly over the next 3 to 6 months. But they are growing. Stay with me because number 3 is where things get really interesting, and this might shock you. Coming in at number 3, your scalp is literally suffocating and starving because blood isn't flowing to your hair follicles the way it used to. Let me explain what this really means. Every single hair follicle on your head is connected to tiny blood vessels. These vessels deliver oxygen and all those nutrients we just talked about directly to the root of each hair. Think of it like a garden. You can have the richest soil and the best seeds, but if water can't reach the roots, nothing grows. As we age, blood circulation naturally decreases throughout our entire body, and the scalp is no exception. Doctors have found that older adults have measurably less blood flow to the scalp compared to younger people. This means even if you're eating all the right foods and taking supplements, those nutrients might not be reaching your hair follicles efficiently. The follicles are basically gasping for oxygen and nutrients. and over time they produce thinner hair or stop producing hair at all. But here's the good news, and I've seen this work for so many women. You can manually increase blood flow to your scalp with a simple technique that takes less than 5 minutes a day. Scalp massage. This isn't some spa luxury. This is medicine. When you massage your scalp, you're physically pushing blood into those tiny vessels, forcing oxygen and nutrients to reach the follicles. Research studies have confirmed that regular scalp massage can actually stimulate hair growth. One woman told me she started massaging her scalp every single night while watching television for just 5 minutes, using her fingertips to make small circular motions all over her head, applying firm pressure but not painful. After about 2 months, she noticed her hair felt thicker when she touched it. After 4 months, her hairdresser commented that she had new growth coming in. After 6 months, she could see a visible difference in photos. Here's exactly how to do this. Use your fingertips, not your nails, because nails can irritate your scalp. Start at your hairline and use firm circular motions, moving slowly across your entire scalp. Spend about 30 seconds on each area. You want to feel the scalp moving under your fingers, not just your fingers sliding over your hair. Do this for 5 minutes every single day, and if you want even better results, do it twice a day, morning and evening. You can do this on dry hair or in the shower with a bit of oil. Speaking of oil, adding a scalp oil with ingredients like rosemary oil, peppermint oil, or castor oil during your massage gives you even more benefit. These oils have been shown in studies to have their own hair growth properties. Rosemary oil specifically has been compared to minoxidil, which is that FDA-approved hair growth treatment, and some research suggests rosemary oil works almost as well without the side effects. You apply just a few drops to your fingertips, massage it into your scalp, and leave it on for at least 30 minutes or overnight before washing. However, there's one more thing you absolutely need to know, and this is the part that most doctors won't even tell you. We're at number 2 now, and this is where things get really serious. Your hormones are working against your hair right now in ways that most women don't understand until it's almost too late. After menopause, your body goes through a massive hormonal shift. Estrogen and progesterone, which are the hormones that kept your hair in its growth phase for years, drop dramatically. At the same time, androgens, which are male hormones that all women have in small amounts, become more dominant proportionally. This creates a specific pattern. The hair on your head gets thinner because androgens shrink the hair follicles on your scalp over time. This process is called miniaturization. Each new hair that grows back is a little thinner and a little shorter than the one before, until eventually the follicle produces hair so fine you can barely see it, or it stops producing visible hair entirely. This is called female pattern hair loss, and it affects the majority of women over 60 to some degree. For some it's mild, just a slightly wider part. For others it's more dramatic, with noticeable thinning across the entire top of the head. Now you might be thinking this sounds hopeless, but stay with me because it's not. I've talked to women who were devastated by this thinning, who felt invisible, who stopped wanting to go out or take photos, and they got their confidence back by addressing this hormonal issue directly. First, some women benefit from hormone replacement therapy, which means replacing some of that lost estrogen through medication prescribed by a doctor. This isn't right for everyone, and you need to discuss the risks and benefits with your healthcare provider. But for some women, it makes a significant difference not just in hair, but in energy, mood, and overall quality of life. Second, there's a topical treatment called minoxidil, which most people know as Rogaine, and it's FDA approved for women. The 5% solution is now available over the counter. What minoxidil does is it forces more follicles into the growth phase and keeps them there longer. It increases blood flow to the follicles. It's not magic. It doesn't work for everyone, but research shows that it helps the majority of women who use it consistently. The key word is consistently. You have to use it every single day, usually twice a day, and you won't see results for at least 3 to 4 months. Many women give up too soon, but women who stick with it often see new growth, less shedding and thicker looking hair by the 6-month mark. One woman shared how she was skeptical about minoxidil because she'd tried so many things that didn't work, but she committed to using it every morning and every evening for 6 months without missing a day. The first 2 months nothing changed and she almost quit. At 3 months she noticed less hair in her drain. At 4 months she started seeing tiny baby hairs at her temples. At 6 months those baby hairs were growing longer and her overall hair looked noticeably fuller. She said the key was taking progress photos every month because the change happens so gradually you don't notice it day to day, but when you compare month 1 to month 6, the difference is undeniable. Now, if you choose to try minoxidil, here's what you need to know. Apply it directly to your scalp, not your hair. Your hair doesn't grow, your follicles do, so the medicine needs to reach the scalp. Use the dropper or foam applicator to part your hair in sections and apply it where your scalp is visible. Let it dry completely before styling. Some women experience increased shedding in the first few weeks, and this is actually normal. Those are weak, dying hairs being pushed out to make room for stronger new growth. Don't panic and stop. Push through. And understand that if minoxidil works for you and you stop using it, the new hair you gained will gradually fall out over the next few months. This is a long-term commitment, but as powerful as this hormonal solution is, the next one does something that might shock you. And this is it. This is number 1, the most devastating mistake that's keeping your hair thin and weak. You're drowning your hair follicles in chronic inflammation and oxidative stress without even realizing it. And this is the foundation that everything else builds on. Let me break this down in the simplest way possible. Inflammation is your body's response to damage or stress. When you cut your finger, it gets red and swollen. That's inflammation working to heal the injury. But when inflammation becomes chronic, meaning it never turns off, it starts damaging healthy tissue instead of healing it. And here's what most people don't realize. Chronic inflammation doesn't just happen in your joints or your heart. It happens in your scalp. Your hair follicles are surrounded by immune cells, and when those immune cells are constantly activated by inflammation, they actually attack the follicles, slowly destroying their ability to produce healthy hair. What causes this chronic inflammation in your scalp? Several things, and they all add up. High blood sugar from eating too much sugar and refined carbohydrates creates inflammation throughout your entire body, including your scalp. A diet high in processed foods and unhealthy fats increases inflammatory chemicals in your bloodstream. Chronic stress, and I'm talking about the kind of ongoing worry and anxiety that so many of us carry, elevates a hormone called cortisol, and cortisol is directly toxic to hair follicles. Research from Harvard showed that chronic stress keeps hair follicles in a prolonged resting phase where they don't grow. Lack of sleep prevents your body from doing its nightly repair work on damaged tissues, including hair follicles. Environmental toxins from pollution, cigarette smoke, harsh chemicals in hair products, they all create oxidative stress, which think of as rust forming on your cellular machinery. And all of this inflammation creates a hostile environment where hair follicles struggle to survive, much less thrive. I've talked to women who didn't realize how much their lifestyle was impacting their hair until they made changes and saw their hair respond. One woman told me she'd been under enormous stress caring for her elderly mother while working full-time. Her hair started falling out in clumps in the shower. She felt helpless. But when her mother's health stabilized and her stress decreased, Within about 5 months, her hair stopped shedding excessively and she started seeing regrowth. She didn't change her shampoo or take any supplements. The only thing that changed was her stress level. That's how powerful this inflammation connection is. Another woman realized she was eating fast food almost every day because it was convenient and she was always tired. When she started cooking simple meals at home with more vegetables, lean protein, and healthy fats like olive oil and avocados, and cut way back on sugar and bread, she noticed within 3 months her hair looked sheenier and felt thicker. Her scalp, which had always been a little itchy and irritated, felt calm for the first time in years. So here's the fix, and this is the big one that ties everything together. You have to reduce inflammation throughout your entire body, and that means making lifestyle changes that might feel hard at first but become easier over time. First, manage your stress. I know that's easier said than done, but even small steps make a difference. 10 minutes of deep breathing every morning, a short walk outside in nature, talking to a friend or therapist about what's worrying you, finding some activity that makes you feel calm, whether that's gardening, reading, painting, prayer, whatever works for you. Your hair is literally listening to your stress levels through cortisol, and when you lower that stress, your hair benefits directly. Second, prioritize sleep. 7 to 8 hours every night if possible. Your body repairs hair follicles during deep sleep. Without adequate sleep, that repair doesn't happen efficiently. Third, and this is huge, eat an anti-inflammatory diet. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but it means making better choices most of the time. Load up on colorful vegetables and fruits because they're packed with antioxidants that fight oxidative stress. Berries, leafy greens, bell peppers, tomatoes, these are hair superfoods. Eat more omega-3 fatty acids from salmon, sardines, walnuts, flax seeds because these are powerful anti-inflammatory nutrients. Use olive oil and avocado oil instead of vegetable oils. Eat whole grains instead of white bread and white rice. And cut back significantly on sugar and processed foods. I'm not saying never have a cookie, I'm saying don't make sugar and junk food your daily diet. Many European women have healthier hair partly because their traditional diets include more fresh vegetables, olive oil, fish, and less processed food compared to the standard American diet. We can learn from that. Fourth, stay hydrated. Drink water throughout the day. Dehydration affects every cell in your body, including hair follicles. And fifth, avoid smoking and limit alcohol, both of which create inflammation and damage hair growth. One more thing about inflammation that's important. Your scalp itself can be inflamed from product buildup, dandruff, or conditions like seborrheic dermatitis. If your scalp is itchy, flaky, red, or tender, you need to address that directly because inflamed scalp skin chokes out hair follicles. Use a gentle clarifying shampoo once a week to remove buildup. If you have dandruff, use a medicated shampoo with ingredients like ketoconazole, selenium sulfide, or zinc pyrithium a couple times a week. These aren't just for dandruff, they also have anti-inflammatory effects that can help hair growth. If your scalp issues are severe, see a dermatologist because you might need a prescription treatment. You can't grow healthy hair on an unhealthy scalp. It's like trying to grow roses in poisoned soil. So let me bring this all together for you because I know that's a lot of information and you might be feeling overwhelmed. Here's the truth. Thinning hair after 60 is common, but it is not inevitable and it is not hopeless. The most important thing you can do, the foundation everything else builds on, is reduce inflammation in your body and on your scalp through stress management, better nutrition, adequate sleep, and scalp care. That's number one, and it's non-negotiable. From there, you layer on the other fixes. Feed your hair with enough protein and the right vitamins and minerals. Increase blood flow to your scalp with daily massage and maybe scalp oils. Wash your hair less often with gentler products. And if you need it, Consider addressing hormones either through medical treatment like HRT or minoxidil, always in consultation with your doctor. Here's the realistic timeline. If you start making these changes today, in the first month, you probably won't see visible growth yet, but you should notice less hair falling out. By month 3, you should see baby hairs starting to grow in thinning areas. By month 6, those baby hairs are getting longer, and your overall hair should look noticeably thicker and healthier. By month 12, you should see significant improvement if you've been consistent. This isn't a quick fix. Your hair grows slowly, but slow progress is still progress, and it's worth it. Remember, you're not trying to look 20 again. You're trying to feel confident and beautiful at the age you are right now. And you deserve that. You deserve to feel good when you look in the mirror. You deserve to enjoy life without worrying about your hair every minute. And you absolutely have the power to improve your situation starting today. Don't let anyone tell you that you just have to accept thinning hair as part of aging. Yes, aging changes things, but there's so much you can do to support your hair and see real improvement. I want you to start with just 1 or 2 of these changes today. Maybe commit to a daily scalp massage. Maybe add more protein to your breakfast tomorrow. Maybe order a good supplement. Pick what feels most doable for you and start there. Then add another change next week and another the week after. Small, consistent steps create dramatic results over time. And please take photos today. Seriously, take a photo of your hair from the front, the top and sides in good lighting. Save those photos and take new ones every month. You won't believe the difference when you look back 6 months from now. If you found this valuable, hit that like button so other women who are struggling with thinning hair can find this information. Comment below and let me know which of these 5 mistakes you're going to fix first. And tell me your age and where you're watching from. I want to build a community of women who support each other through this. Share this video with women in your life who might be dealing with hair loss and feeling alone or hopeless. And subscribe to this channel because I'm going to keep bringing you practical, honest, research-backed information that helps you feel confident and beautiful at every age. You've got this. Your best hair days are not behind you. They're ahead of you if you make the right changes starting now. I believe in you. Now go look in that mirror and remind yourself that you're worth the effort. I'll see you in the next video.